Hello, everybody. Welcome back to It's Cryptic Out There. Just before we get started, one thing I wanted to say is, regarding the whole Jerry Smith case and this whole story, we all know that Tute was found innocent, not guilty of everything. Everything that we talk about from here on out on this episode, it's all alleged. We have no proof. We're not saying that this is the gospel, this is how it went, and this is the way it was. We just have accounts, people's stories, things like that. So in no way are we saying that this is fact. This is just some investigation that we've gone through.
A walk among the stars, the monsters, the paranormal, and supernatural. Join your tour guides, Justin and Josh, on this cryptic journey through life and beyond. What you may not know is you've been on this journey for a long time, and you finally arrived. Join us and our cult by subscribing to this podcast and giving us a generous 5-star rating. With doing so, your soul will be set and the afterlife defined. Welcome to It's Cryptic Out There.
Welcome back to It's Cryptic Out There. I am your host, Justin. Alongside with me is my co-host, Josh Farrell. Josh?
What's up, all my ghouls, ghosts, and goblins?
Oh, that's
Changed it up a little bit.
That's a new one.
Yeah. I was laying in bed last night and I was like, man, it just doesn't sound right. And then I said it and I was like, perfect.
Goblins.
I did it.
Do you believe in goblins? Is goblins like a real thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, I can't believe in Bigfoot and then just deny the existence of goblins. But are goblins like trolls? Like a troll that lives under a bridge? Are goblins just trolls?
With a long-ass nose?
Possibly.
Green face?
Yeah, Shrek.
So ogres. Are those?
Boy, is it cryptic out here.
Well, today we're not going to be talking about, any of that.
Yeah, of course.
It's more of a realistic
true crime episode.
Yes.
Hometown.
Yeah.
Get down.
It's part 2 actually, and sorry for us not posting anything for I guess almost 2 weeks now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I went on vacation. Wasn't really thinking about this is a part 1. They'll probably want a part 2 as soon as possible. Then I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
But sorry about that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people wanting a part 2.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And not only I've been on vacation, but we've been trying to figure out more details about what we're about to talk about today. Just investigating more, and we came up with some interesting stuff for sure.
Jinx, man, you
Jinx.
Over here, Coke.
There we go.
Nice.
Like Josh said at the beginning, the disclaimer, whatever, that this is just claims that we have been given to us. We don't believe anything really.
Yeah. If anything, I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I just want to know more. I think there's some. The fact is that Jerry Smith did act as Angie Renee. Mm-hmm. That is fact.
Yeah.
And, so to see if he interacted with anybody else, I mean, to think that it would only be a Tute.
Yeah.
When it kind of sounds like there were some other football players involved as well.
Right. And the fact that Jerry just allegedly has this history, a long history, because even 10 years from what we've gathered to present to you guys today. So I went to Centro Taco Bar, where allegedly he used to work there. And around the time that he died, I guess that week or the next week, an article came out about Centro Taco of people saying that the bar was lacing their drinks with some type of, drug substance or whatever.
Roofing them, essentially.
And nowhere did it say Jerry Smith in the article. But a lot of people online made a connection that Jerry worked there and that he would drug people at the bar. However, I went to Centro Taco with old Julia.
Shout out to you, Julia.
Yes. And we sat at the bar and we talked with the bartender at the time. And I won't, elaborate what was said because I have it on footage. So we're going to cut to when we went to Centro, and so you guys can listen to it or even watch it. So I guess we'll do that right now. So here we go. Okay, we're here at Blacksburg, Virginia. We're about to go into Centro Taco Bar, which is where Jerry Smith allegedly worked there or managed there. But while we're here, we're going to go by the apartment where he was murdered at and where he used to live. But I have this article that came out last year when all this went down, his murder. The article came out saying Blacksburg police investigating Centro Taco Bar after multiple reports of drugs added to, people's drinks. So, a Blacksburg taco restaurant is under investigation after complaints and social media reports surfaced claiming that people were drugged. The Blacksburg Police Department said it received multiple complaints over the past several months from people alleging drugs were put in their drinks, causing cognitive impairment during their visit to Centro Taco Bar. According to police, Centro Taco Bar is cooperating with investigators by allowing full access to the restaurant as well as its surveillance system. So far, no evidence has been found to back the claims, but the investigation remains ongoing. What was found during the investigation thus far is that the restaurant violated COVID restrictions. This was last year, by the way. And the Virginia ABC issued a warning. Blacksburg Police, the Virginia ABC, and the Virginia Department of Forensic Science are currently investigating the situation. I'm not going to read off what the Taco Bar, their statement regarding to all this was. It pretty much was like, we're cooperating with, everything, this and that. Like I said, this was last year when all this went down. And a lot of speculation was that Jerry, this is just speculation, that Jerry worked there at the time and would drug people. But that's just claims. We don't know. But we're going to go and see if anybody worked there during the time Jerry did and figure out if he was, acting suspicious with drugs or whatever. So we're just going to see if we can find anybody. Thank you. Could I ask you something? How long have you been working here?
Almost 2 years now, I think.
Did you ever work with Jerry Smith?
He was here a couple times, but I didn't.
You know that story?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did he work here?
He didn't work here, but he worked at the Black Hen. He was always coming here.
Oh, he worked at the Black Hen.
Yeah, so like our coworkers. So get to one of our coworkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then our coworker ended up leaving here because of that. But
Shit, that's crazy.
Really?
yeah, he was really into our coworkers. He was always here. Like he was always We used to have circle tables. He would always like put together two and he'd bring his friends and stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Is the coworker like working today or?
Oh no, he's gone.
He don't
Yeah,
work here
I have
anymore.
no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, did you read the article where there was like claims that Centro was like
Oh
drugging
yeah,
people?
yeah. There was a whole issue. We even got a lawyer for all that and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it cleared up.
Yeah.
Probably by now.
Yeah, but yeah, he never worked here. He worked at Black Hand. He would always bring us like dishes. Like, oh, should I eat these?
Really?
Especially with my coworker, he was to my coworker about this. But
Damn.
Okay.
yeah, but
Because there's a lot of people say that he did work here.
Yeah.
And that because that article came out when his death happened, and that he was the one doing all the drugging and stuff.
yeah. No, we had a lot of people that were like, we have a whiteboard outside. Now we came in right on next day, we're on a Sharpie like, oh, like, he worked here and blah, and like we even had like our owner come out and was like, no, like we even treated our payroll, he never worked here, and all that stuff, yeah. But I think even the Black Hand released a statement saying like, no, like he was a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, because like he was doing their graduation stuff, like their menu and all that.
Yeah. Did you know that he was like apparently really wealthy? He like owned restaurants.
He would tell us like he said that like worked at like a hospital or something like that. Like he did own stuff, but honestly I have no idea.
Do you know what hospital it was? Was it Korean? Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for letting us know.
You're curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff when it happened.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Here's one. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, we're back. You mentioned something that needed to be corrected that I said in the clip.
Just for the sake of not being biased towards one or the other, trying to split it down the line, you could look at that as in Atute's self-defense, Jerry was killed.
Yeah.
He wasn't murdered. Yeah. I think through the court case and what it's shown, I think that it shows self-defense in Atute killing him. So I think that there's a lot of things, especially in that clip that we're about to go into, that just proves more. And one thing actually, the seediness, nightlife, like we all have stories of going downtown.
Yeah.
Especially we're men, so not really like we worry. Not saying that sexual assaults obviously, in this case do happen to men, and it's very possible that the downtown Blacksburg nightlife is possible for breeding or almost allowing Jerry Smith to act the way he did.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that is the downside, women are always preyed upon. Mm-hmm. And it's very possible that at Centro, like that's the dark side.
Yes.
The dark side of it all.
Yeah.
And even if Jerry never worked at Centro, that doesn't mean that Centro was his, where he preyed.
Right.
That was his hunting ground, essentially.
Because what we were told, he would come in there often with, I guess, his friends or whatever. I don't know who his friends would have been.
Yeah.
But it said, I don't know if you guys could pick up well or not, because we were in a bar with like two large fans going on. So the bartender said that there was a coworker at the Black Hen who felt really uncomfortable with Jerry, so much so that they ended up quitting and working at Centro now. And I asked if they still worked there, and she said no. She doesn't know where they were at the time. So she did say that Jerry made that person quit pretty much at the Black Hen for whatever reason. We don't know. But that Jerry would come in Centro and like present dishes, I guess, at the Black Hen. He was a manager there, allegedly. He would come in with dishes for like the workers or whatever, and there was the theory that he worked at Centro. He didn't work at Centro, so much so that they had to bring lawyers into it because of that article that came out that he was never on the payroll. That there was like a whiteboard outside that people would be like, Jerry worked here or whatever, this and that, and they would have to come out saying, no, he didn't.
Almost what I see here is the merging of two stories of date rape and such happening at Centro, and Jerry Smith meeting up with these, either underage kids or young kids, and sexually assaulting or raping them.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know who's date raping people out of Centro, but I know that this guy has done this.
Yeah.
You put them together, it makes sense,
It makes sense, yeah.
But it doesn't mean,
It doesn't mean he did it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean. It literally does not mean that he went over there. Jerry Smith could have just done what he did.
Yeah.
And then, because my perception, and, prove me wrong with statistics, that's perfectly fine. But my perception of it is that most people who go to bars and get, drugged or something, it happens by the patrons there.
Yeah.
You can see plenty of videos of people walking by, drop something in somebody's drink, And if you do that, man, like, you should die. You're a terrible human being.
Right.
If you're going to take advantage of somebody like that. And if you got a problem with it, come talk to me.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
If you got a problem, call the hotline.
Yeah,
540-358-1583.
Yeah. Tell them how much you hate me for saying that.
Yeah.
And if you sexually assault people, you're terrible.
Right.
But yeah, like, that's kind of what, from watching that might be what I think, is that there's this separate story and another separate story, and to find your boogeyman, you combine them.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he didn't. What's going on with that other thing? The drugging.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Or who did that?
Because didn't Blacksburg police come out and say that there was, like, over the past couple months, there have been reports of people being drugged?
Yeah.
Which, why was that not investigated further?
That was the only article I saw.
Yeah.
It never transpired after that.
That's a little weird if you're just going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
So, I do think that's, they're both terrible. So, and if you have any stories on Centro or, anything about the hotline, you already know what I'm going to swing to now. Or anything like, just being downtown and having those weird experiences. Justin, what number do you call?
540-358-1583. You could leave a voicemail or a text message.
Yeah. Reach out to us on Facebook too.
Yeah,
we've actually had a lot of people reach out recently on Facebook. That's pretty cool. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
Facebook's an easy way to communicate with us.
Like to interact with y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can get your It's Cryptic Out There t-shirts.
Yeah, by the way, there's the Cryptic merch right there.
It's a good shirt. It feels good.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's not. It's stretchy.
Yeah, it's like an athletic.
Yeah, I'm a big guy, so I like to have a little room whenever I'm sitting down. Let the belly breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But also, she did mention, I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but that he allegedly worked at a hospital too. That was a big rumor last year, where what I heard is that he worked at a hospital. His family owned a hospital, maybe, or like they didn't own a hospital, but they're like higher ups in like a hospital company or
whatever. Could get him a job there.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard.
Jerry Smith seems to be almost as an enigma.
Yes.
You can put like any story. There's so much not known about him. I think that's what interests me most about this case, is that there's not much known about Jerry.
Yeah.
And who he was and what he did.
What to believe.
Yeah, what to believe. It seems like everybody's got a different story to associate him with, but I also think about this guy was leading a double life as a different person.
Yeah.
The stories could always get mixed up or mean something else. At what point do you not know what's real and what's, fake? When
Absolutely.
You're trying to put all your stories together,
Yeah.
Drive you crazy.
It kind of is driving me crazy.
Yeah, seriously. Because it's just, you don't know, like, everything. That's why we made that disclaimer.
Yeah.
You don't know what's real.
Yeah.
We are just going down the avenues of okay, did he work at a hospital? Let's see if we can find out more.
Yeah.
We thought he worked at Centro.
Yeah.
Turns out he didn't.
He worked at Black Hem, which I had no idea.
Yeah, seriously. And the Black Inn just closed.
I think they just closed, but it's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what.
Yeah, I saw that they made a post where we didn't do as much business or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were going to close down, but...
Yeah.
Damn it, Jerry.
Yeah. So that leads us to a hotline interaction that I had through text. A guy named Zane. He said I could use his name. So
Thanks for coming forward, Zane.
yes, thank you by the way
appreciate it
for reaching
for sure.
out.
I'm sure it was probably difficult.
Yes, I'm going to read off this text exchange I had with him. I'll just go ahead and do it because it kind of relates to the Jerry being, involved with like restaurant chains and stuff like that. So he's like, "This is Zane." I was like, "Hey man, thanks for doing this." He said, "No problem. Are you the only person doing this? A reporter for the New York Times supposedly messaged me as well." I mentioned this on the last episode, that it was probably Campbell Robertson who we spoke to last year on Unhelpful Advice, Hunter and I. But I assured him that we were the only ones doing the series as of right now.
That we know of.
That we know of, yeah. He said, yeah, that was him. So he asked, so, like, what do you want to know? And I asked, well, I wanted to see if you remember the first time you met Jerry, or if you did, when you first encountered Angie Renee, and what was said to you. When did this take place, and how? And he said, LOL, I couldn't forget. I never knew the Angie persona. I knew Jerry. When I first met Jerry, he told me he was a incredibly wealthy individual. He would brag and boast about his money and multiple properties. He told me he saw potential in me and could make me a millionaire, and that I need to come to one of his many lifts for wine. Lifts, he said lifts, so I'm assuming apartments.
Yeah, that's a lift, I guess so.
I guess.
I think there is something called a wine lift, though, right?
A wine lift?
Where, like, is that almost like a tasting?
A wine.
I'm uncultured.
Many lifts for wine. If anybody knows, please reach out.
Yeah, please tell
Yeah.
me. What's a lift?
Yeah, which turned out to be a lie.
Yeah, of course.
He also was a part of one of my friend's startups and apparently ran it into the ground. Then stole stuff from it. The last time he reached out to me, he messaged me wanting me to be a bartender at one of his new restaurants. Okay. So I said, where did you meet him at? Did he say specific companies he worked for or owned? What was your friend's business? And what restaurant? And I said, also, how old were you at the time? He texted back saying, I worked at Cheddar's at the time. Now, where's Cheddar's, Roanoke?
Yeah, there's not a Cheddar's near here, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'll look that up.
I was 18 years old, and he worked there too. He said he just did it because he was bored and just didn't have anything to do in his spare time. Angie. That's his spare time.
Dude, the nearest Cheddar's?
Yeah.
If it's the Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, is in Beckley, West Virginia. An hour and 9 minutes away.
And there's not one in Roanoke?
I don't think so. I looked up Cheddar's near me.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, wait, no, there is.
There's one in Roanoke?
Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen. Yeah, 55 minutes, Roanoke, Virginia.
I'm assuming that's where he
Near
was
the
talking
mall,
about.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
But anyway, another restaurant chain.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably where he got, majority of his...
Victims?
Well, I would say experience.
Yeah.
Dining experience to become a manager and stuff like that.
Yeah. So,
But who knows?
yeah, who knows?
If, not to interrupt the text, but
Yeah.
it seems like there's a good decade here.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Because it gets kind of fucked.
To put it quite simply.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he just did it because he was bored and just didn't have anything to do in his spare time. My friend's name was Alan Runan that tried to start with him. I'm pretty sure he caught him stealing, and that was the end of it. The last business I heard he was with was Food Fanatics. Do you know where that is? Look it up, guys.
No clue.
Another food chain. Food Fanatics. And I said, oh my goodness, I've heard his parents were wealthy. What year did all this happen? He said 2013, 2014. I just got out of high school.
Ooh.
Then he messaged. He has also messaged me, though, as the Angie person, like on Facebook. And then I asked, do you still have those messages? Do you remember what the Angie account said? And he never replied back. That was last Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Food Fanatics is also in Roanoke.
Okay, so he must have lived there in
Yeah.
Roanoke at the time.
Well, if you think about it, it's not that far away.
True.
There's a lot of people I know that commute to
Yeah.
from Roanoke to Blacksburg.
Okay. So yeah, that was the text exchange I had with Zane, claiming that he was involved with a lot of restaurants, but boasting that he was wealthy. I don't know.
Shout out to you, Zane.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thanks for
Coming forward and telling that story.
giving us that information.
Yeah, that helps out a lot because that's two places,
Yeah.
Cheddar's and
Food Fanatics.
if anyone is listening and has worked with Jerry
Yes, that would
at
be.
Food Fanatics or Cheddar's or anywhere else, how many jobs have you had in your life?
Jeez, 1, 2, 3 or 4
3 or 4? And what time period?
since 10th grade, maybe. So
Yeah.
like high school when I was 14, 15.
Yeah, it seems like Jerry in his 30s, over a decade, may have had 5, 6,
Yeah.
7 jobs.
Yeah. And I remember last year that someone told me, I can't remember who I guess knew Jerry, would move away and come back quite often.
Yeah. I remember that conversation.
Yes.
I think what's real crazy about that is, did he move away because things got too close? He could feel it stomping down on his neck,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Run away.
Yeah.
Everything dies down.
That's crazy to think about that because like over the years, Angie would come and go as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's like we talked about with Angie. You guys joked around, made jokes or something, knowing it was fake.
yeah,
But still, Angie still tried.
yeah,
Even after the fourth wall is broken. Yeah. I know this is fake. Still trying after that. That's
it's fucked.
that's crazy.
It's mental.
Yeah.
That is mental. So yeah, that's a bunch of other like rabbit holes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like open-ending situations. But this last thing that we want to share with you guys is another hotline contact. It was a voicemail of a guy telling his story when he was underage. And it's kind of muffled and it goes in and out a lot. So I'm going to play it for you guys. And afterwards, if you may have missed something, we'll try and, elaborate more on it. So we're going to play you the audio and then we'll come back to you. So here we go.
I have an Angie Renee story. When I was 16 is when I first got the message on Facebook to come and meet up at my 16-year-old brain. I thought you think about it in the sense of what I know now, and knowing that it happened 10 years ago, or over 10 years now. I was 16 when I first got a message from Angie Renee asking me to meet up, and as stupid as I was, I went ahead and did it. Met up, all that good stuff. Didn't think about it. And the next day, what kind of caught me, and don't think that like now I think it's like funny or whatever. I totally feel like embarrassed and stupid about it, and I do feel as though I was like taken advantage of. But nonetheless, I mean, I still kind of I knew like it was I knew it was fishy at the time, but in the moment, I just didn't think that it was anything. Maybe I don't know. But afterwards, the next day, this is my correlation story. The account known as Angie told me, because I said that I wanted to be a graphic designer, and that's what I wanted to go to college for. And she told me that her brother actually needed some graphic designers for his company. So Angie sent me a text message that said, get in contact with Jerry Smith, and he can find you graphic designer work, or because he's such a small company, he'll pay you per work or what have you. So in my mind, there's no doubt at all that Angie was obviously Jerry, because I mean, why else would Angie come and say, this is my brother, Jerry Smith? You know what I mean? Like, at the time, I was just 16, I was so fucking stupid. And then in the grand scheme of things, that's when I thought it was like fishy, and I just never talked about it anymore. Anytime like friends would bring it up, I just laugh, whatever, and just tell myself like, no, it wasn't. But yeah, obviously, hit me again. Just wanted to keep going, got cut off. But yeah, in my mind, there's no question whatsoever on if Jerry was Angie. I know at this point. Makes you feel stupid, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I was just taken advantage of as a 16-year-old kid that didn't know any better, and even if he did, he was just stuck. I mean, I had my license for like 3 weeks. So, I mean, it was just stupid, but yeah, I wanted to tell my story, kind of just to, because I mean, I know a lot of other people that did it and stuff like that. Tell my story because I know that other people did it, and it's not anybody's fault besides the person who knowingly defeated it. So yeah, that's my story. That's for if I was left anonymous. I don't want to say my name and stuff like that, but yeah.
Okay, so we're back. What was your thoughts on that?
Heavy.
Yeah, it was
real heavy.
Yeah, the fact that this caller was 16 years old at the time, which was said 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, Jerry was doing this 10 years ago.
Yeah, decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a lot can happen in 10 years.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I think, like we've talked about, it's so hard.
Yeah.
You have 10 years worth of, how long did he work at, say, Cheddar's?
Yeah.
And had this going on in Roanoke, and then went to Scrap or whatever the other place was, Food Fanatics,
Food Fanatics, yeah.
And then went there, and then came to Blacksburg, and did this until just it all. I don't want to say that with what happened with Atute was. I don't want to say he got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
But when you go down a path like that, there's only so many options. You're either going to get caught and go to jail, or you'll get fucking killed.
Yeah.
I mean, those, whether it be by your victim or by someone you were trying to get, or maybe one of their parents, or
Yeah.
just anything like that. I mean, we could walk out in the street and get hit by a car.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But he just I feel like he increased his likelihood by.
I mean, if you go down
this
that
path.
dark path, I mean, you're going to be involved with dark shit.
Well, if anything, Jerry. Well, I don't. Yeah, you can't say he's lucky, but if anything, he's just the fact that he didn't show up and someone, like meeting with this person, and all this happening, and what if got out of the car, they met up, and then it's like, oh, you're a man, just kills you right there,
Yeah.
and leaves you wherever you are,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Okay, so it was 16 years old at the time. It was 10 years ago. It happened. I guess it was like oral sex. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he pretty much blew him.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And if you guys couldn't hear well, basically the next day, him and the Angie account were messaging, and that Angie, found out. I don't know if this caller told Angie that he wanted to be a graphic designer or whatever. He wanted to go to school for graphic designing, but the Angie account said, "Oh, you should, reach out to my brother, who is Jerry Smith."
Now that
Is insane.
That is extreme. To me, that's extreme narcissism. How cocky are you to say something like that to somebody? How predatory is that? I mean,
So manipulating too.
well, what it sounds like is that it's manipulating, and that's what I'm getting at. It sounds like you're manipulating this person from, Angie Renee. It's like, but I'm going to morph you into my real life.
Yeah.
And see what I can make happen.
Keep you around.
Keep you around and see what I can make happen then. Like, I've already got you once.
Yeah.
Now, I can keep my eye on you because we've already done something, so I can know, those sorts of things.
Yeah. That is as twisted as you can get as a predator, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you'll never see Angie and Jerry in the same place at the same time. No. My brother? Well, let's go to one of your family reunions.
Yeah.
Why don't I come over to your house for your birthday party? Where's your sister at?
Yeah. Oh, she's.
She had to work. She had to do that. She had to work every time we met.
Yeah.
She don't have kids. She don't have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's she doing this weekend?
That's God, dude. like he said, oh, my brother Jerry has let's see, how did he word it? Actually needed some graphic designers for him, for his company and for his companies.
I love how it's like my business, my company. What business?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What business do you own? What companies do you own?
If anything, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how can I look and see what you've done?
Yeah.
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 And it seems like so far, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like, you said you were rich and you had all this. Well, where's the proof? I'd love to find it. So if anybody knows of any businesses or anything, call the hotline, let us know. I don't want it to be one-sided, but it just seems like with all the stuff that we have now.
Well, I mean, Jerry has apparently such a more of a history than like a Tute. A Tute's 18 years old football player.
Yeah.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Fell for what this person fell for, So if it's the same situation, then it's hard to put any blame on a Tute in a way. Where, like, I can totally see where everybody's like, he just got away with murder.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, if Jerry was a serial predator for 10 years and was a pedophile and raped a bunch of people, like, at some point, when do you sit there and think, wow, he was about to get raped, or he had already been raped at that point, you know?
It's funny you mentioned that, because, I've been in communications with a certain family member of Jerry who we went to school with.
Yeah.
And he plans on coming on the show in part 3. Don't know how many parts this is going to be.
Yeah, seriously.
Honestly.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, the more information we know, because I would love to figure out more. It's kind of like when we did the telekinetic.
Yeah.
You know, it went from nobody knowing who this person was or anything about it to us kind of putting it all together. You know, and I'd love to be able to at least find enough for us to say, or to just for us to have a better opinion on it.
Yeah.
You know, I would just love to have that.
Yeah. Because you said opinion, because when I was, talking with the family member, he agreed that what Jerry did was horrible, and apparently he knew about it. But we'll get into that in the next episode, whenever that will be, because we never know. I don't know how long it will be until the next one, just because of the information we're going to get, and I want to get as much as we can for the next one,
especially if the next episode is going to be like, I would love to just shed more light on Jerry and his life, because right now the only things that I know about Jerry is he's Angie. Yeah, exactly, the bad stuff. So when he comes on, maybe he can shed more of a light on who Jerry was and everything, because like we've talked about with all serial killers, Ted Bundy was a functioning person, he worked for a congressman during a campaign. John Wayne Gacy was part of like the Democratic Party of wherever he was from, so you see these people who are active members in their community doing a lot. It's like you almost would never expect them to do that. And the lack of, honestly, to me, the lack of work on the Blacksburg Police Department to flesh this out more, knowing when they've got plenty of complaints and they've done nothing, that's an issue to me,
Well,
because
also, I mean, this is just what has been said. I've heard that Jerry was very fond with the Blacksburg Police.
Yeah, cool with them. Yeah, and you love to look out for your friends. That is just human nature, like I've said it a lot. The law is not justice, and justice is not law. We're all human beings. You're willing to, if you've ever gotten out a ticket because so-and-so knows so-and-so, there you go. That is not justice. That is you getting out of it because of a favor or a friend. And
that's just what we've heard, and that's all.
All alleged. Can't prove any of it.
And the family member also mentioned that a lot of what was presented after the trial wasn't the whole story with the crime scene. There was a little bit more to it, but I don't know what he's meaning by that. Maybe he can bring it up on the show, but I don't know.
We'll have to ask him when he comes on. Just because, like, there's only 2 people who knows what happened that night, and one of them's not talking.
And the family member also mentioned that it's crazy that Etute didn't get anything.
I mean, I was shocked.
I
was genuinely shocked.
Even the Turk was shocked.
To think. But what did that jury see? What did that jury hear? What did they get that we didn't? Because, they're getting exclusive access to stuff that may not be talked about or brought to the mass attention or whatever, Because I don't think there was any cameras allowed in the courtroom.
I don't think so, no.
So,
I mean, there was photos and stuff.
Like photos and
not
everything,
live
but no.
footage.
So you don't really know. You just have like with the court reporter and everything. But boy, what we don't know what happens behind the scenes. We don't know what happens at all.
Even like we talked about the last episode, like Etute never mentioned a knife. When he got arrested. But now, over time, that narrative was,
But there was one there.
There was.
That's the thing. There was one there. So even if the story changed afterwards, still there. You never know what could have happened.
Better call Saul.
Seriously,
Never know,
yeah,
dude.
you never know.
Never know.
It's like the guy from, Highway. What was it? The crazy guy,
What?
Dog Meat or whatever. He said you never know. Remember, he said that quote. He's like, when you stop by some place on the side of the road that's selling hamburgers, you don't really know what's inside the burgers.
Yeah,
that guy.
Mulaney.
Yeah. Damn, Mulaney. Be dropping some real knowledge on us.
Yeah. Jesus.
He kept it cryptic, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Fucking cannibal. So yeah, that was all the kind of info we got, but there was one last thing. I almost closed the show. Where can I find it? Told me not to use his name. But this is just a message. Let me just read it. Justin, I listened to the Tute/Smith episode today. I don't have anything to add about that case, but I do agree with the sentiment that it's the craziest thing to happen around here. But I'll say it, there may be something a little more sensational. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Bombshell/Marion Elizabeth Franklin case out of Radford in the mid-2000s, but it got a bit of media attention at the time. A, quote, nationally known photographer involved in a May-December relationship. Bondage, pornography, hard drugs, necro fantasies, and allegations of actual necro acts.
Come on, y'all.
I won't say more because I can't remember what I know from public sources versus what I learned elsewhere. Most of the information Runner Times articles are behind their paywall, but there should be enough out there to fill an episode. Please don't use my name unless your research leads you to a certain somebody. Then you can tell them I brought the case to your attention. And I already brought that to who I didn't mention. But, yeah. Necro.
Yeah. Come on, y'all.
Jesus.
Like, you're keeping the show going, but come on.
Get scripts out there.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
What's wrong with y'all?
But,
Probably something in the water.
probably
Get it poisoned down there by Celanese, the Arsenal putting whatever they want down there.
that Caldwell Fields episode I had. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is, and this is just a little off topic, but
Yeah.
think about how much lead paint was in things to a lot of people from, they probably stopped using lead paint in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone born from the time they started using lead-based paint to the time that they stopped.
Yeah.
If you were a kid in your crib and you're just smelling or eating paint chips or something, you're gonna go crazy.
Possibility.
A lot of anger that stems from that. You got brain damage, essentially.
Yeah.
So could be correlations of the violence that we see in, like, Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and stuff like that. Guys who were...
Or even, like, 90s murders.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
I mean, murders that happen now.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons that the country, or you could even say the world, is so on edge is because people are so angry.
Yeah.
And that might be because things aren't the way that they were
Right.
when they were younger, or things are going in a different direction that they don't want them to, or something like that.
Yeah.
And rather than, if you want to try and stop the flow of change, you're going to get run over.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, change is going to happen. You can put up walls, you can do whatever, but it'll never stop things from changing. And, as we get into talk more about Jerry Smith, you can kind of see that.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
that even if you use the internet, try to protect yourself, try to protect your identity, try to do all of these things to make sure that you never get caught or you never get in any trouble or anything like that, it doesn't matter.
No.
Because at the end of the day,
It'll come out.
yeah.
Like mass shootings. Like, they know they're going to get caught. So might as well just do a mass shooting.
Yeah, seriously.
That's like the serial killers. Like,
Has it changed?
there's so much technology now to get caught, this and that. Well, I already know I'm going to get caught, so I'm going to just shoot up a school.
Yeah, and go somewhere and I'm going to do this because people are going to talk about me.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the attention that I never got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are, we should do an episode on Columbine. I had to do some, because I work for the state,
Yeah.
and I had to do some state training on shootings, And, I had to listen to 5 minutes of a 911 call from one of the teachers in the library of Columbine, who was just kind of displaying everything that had happened. And
Did she survive? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Yeah, because they actually were in the library. Like, she was on the phone and they were shooting in the library where she was. Yeah, and she said, like, she's like, I just thought, now this is 1999. So she's like, I just thought that they had some cap guns and were filming a movie.
Yeah.
She said she went down to say something to them to stop, and there was a kid behind her. They shot the kid behind her, and she heard the kid get shot and the glass break, and then she got shot, and that's when she started running, so. God. But that's the thing. Those two kids almost have been made out to be martyrs of being bullied, and in reality, they're pieces of shit.
Oh, yeah.
They are terrible people. I don't give a shit how badly bullied you are, like, there's no excuse.
No.
Especially if you're going in and you kill 19 or whatever, especially in Uvalde in Texas.
I mean, we were bullied growing up, but I never had the inkling of bringing a gun to school.
Yeah, and this is an 18-year-old kid who's going to an elementary school. What are you getting out of that?
Second grade, fourth grade.
Yeah, seriously, a bunch of 8, 9, 10 years old or whatever.
Have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and what's terrible about that is like, to get cryptic, and just to be real, like, those kids were shot with an AR-15, and a lot of those kids had closed caskets. There were just holes blown in them. There's a popular clip of Matthew McConaughey talking about one of the girls and how she always wore these green Converses. That was the only way they were able to identify her.
That's sick.
Yeah, was by her shoes.
Yep.
So, I'd love to talk more about that, especially one of the first big ones, But there was a shooting maybe in the 50s or 60s at the University of Texas. A guy got in the bell tower.
Really?
And shot. And that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it. I'm pretty sure it was at the University of Texas or something. But yeah, shot them as I think they were running across their drill field and such. A class change.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that for sure. Yeah. Because I'm interested in doing something like that as well.
Just because there's nothing you can't understand.
Yeah. Because
they either always kill themselves, or you look at Dylan Roof, who shot up that church in South Carolina, a black church. Look at the way the cops treated him afterwards. They let him have a cigarette. They took him somewhere to eat after he did that. Nah, this is a murderer.
Yeah.
Why is he getting this special treatment?
Well, there's 14 cops didn't even go to that school in Texas.
Yeah, which is so crazy to me that how...
Did they even heard the gunfire, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Which, you're all there. I mean, what, you're just showing up for a picnic, you there should be a call.
You have to wait on an order to go in?
Yeah, for real. Nah, man. And you know what? If it was an order that was holding them back, if they were sitting there saying that I literally can't go because there's this order telling me I don't have, man, you need to change.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be waiting from your police captain or whatever.
No.
We're just going to because during the state training, they were talking that the goal of the police during a shooting is not to save anybody. It's to go in there, stop the shooter, stop the dying, and then stop the shooter, stop the dying, and then stop the killing, stop the dying, and then save anybody. Then do. So if you get shot but you're not close to death, you'll be waiting.
That's so unethically counterintuitive.
So what's real crazy? The average shooting is 5 minutes. You know what the average police response time is? 3. Yeah. So in 5 minutes, 2 of those minutes, as much, it could all be done in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Everybody could die.
Especially with an AR-15.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at Cho during the tech shooting, and as we got into that, how much ammunition he still had on him. And he used 2 handguns.
2 pistols, yeah.
2 pistols, He could have done literally anything in that time period, But there just needs to be, I just know we can't keep living like this.
No, definitely not.
There was 9 mass shootings last weekend.
There's a mass shooting every week or every other 3 days.
Yeah, seriously. And it's such a problem in America that it's hard for other countries to even fathom it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean that this happens? And, you know, we love to make excuses here in America.
Yeah.
We love to. Oh, well, you know, they still have people run around with knives. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that doesn't happen every 3 days. You know, knife attacks. Or, well, they drive cars. That doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Or they do bombs. Doesn't happen all the time. Literally, mass shootings here happen every week.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, does not matter who you are. We could all go into Walmart today and all of us get shot and killed just because someone feels like it.
Yeah.
Does not matter who you are.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's America right now.
Yeah, seriously. America is rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Well, thank you for like going off on that, because I think that was important. It's important to talk about, because that's the main issue that's going on nowadays.
Yeah. Everyone's too afraid to talk about it. And I'll tell you right now, I do not give a single fuck about the backlash I'll get. You cannot convince me otherwise if you think that it's just bad people are going to do bad things. Okay, well, sit down, shut up, because you don't even have a good... Like, you're not offering anything.
Yeah.
You were just saying, we'll keep the status quo. Well, clearly we can't do that.
No.
So either offer anything, man. At this point, I'm willing to listen to anything.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it's going to take to try and fix this problem, sure. Whatever, I'll listen to it. Mm-hmm. But to sit here and say that there is, it just is what it is, or we shouldn't change because this is how it's been. Well, I'll tell you right now, man, if we're going off things that were happening in 1776 when they wrote the Constitution, then half of us shouldn't be allowed to do half the shit we do now. You know, I mean...
I think there's always a solution to something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the answers.
I don't,
but it's good to talk about, to hear, like, say, your take on it. Maybe somebody can pick something out what you just said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, I am not right all the time. Yeah. You know, I'm wrong more, you know, but it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's something we should all take away from life, is it is okay to be wrong. If anything, you should search to be wrong, because that's just one more step closer to learning the right way to do something.
Yeah.
You know, and I am not willing to let more and more people, because you look at the Buffalo shooting, you look at the Uvalde shooting, there was one in the hospital, you know, you look at those, and those are not, it's not just kids, it's not just, you know, the one in Buffalo was purely racial based.
Yeah.
A guy looked up a black zip code, found a supermarket found a supermarket in a predominantly black zip code, which is a bigger conversation to have, and went there specifically to kill black people.
Jesus.
You know, I mean, that is what happened. And the FBI pulled over a U-Haul full of white supremacists called Patriot Front with weapons who were going to go to a pride parade. And what do you think they were going to do?
Shoot them up?
Yeah. You don't show up in tactical gear with weapons and just go to fucking hang out.
Yeah.
Don't be so clueless. Don't be so gullible to believe some dumb shit like that. Oh, we're just going to go experience our right. You think anybody at Pride was carrying around fucking ARs or something? No, of course they weren't. When you show up like that, you are the aggressor.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just looking for...
You're looking for a fight.
Yeah, and...
That's all you're doing.
That's just...
You're just looking for a fight. You want to fight. And, you know, why don't you go fight somebody who actually wants to fight you?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Don't go fight the gays.
Yeah.
Don't go fight the LGBT community. Go fight somebody who wants to fight you. It's easy to fight somebody who doesn't want to fight
somebody
back.
that is, like, at least talking bad about... I mean,
seriously.
they're talking bad about you.
Seriously. Go and fight, you know... Go and fight other white supremacists to see, you know, who's stupider or something, you know?
Who's more racist.
Yeah, who's more racist. Go kill each other, you know? That solves a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I get canceled.
Well, thanks for, you know, going on that rant, because, like I said, I think it's important to talk about...
I just want the people to know who we want our fans to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a line in the sand, and we're putting it out there, letting it know.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing, man, like, I'm open, and I'm willing to listen to anything, but there are some things that I am not going to entertain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. Well, with that being said...
Yeah, seriously. Justin, what's the hotline?
If you have any information about the Girl in the Hoodie series, that's what we're calling it, the Girl in the Hoodie, because that's what Jerry would do. Call the hotline, leave a voicemail, text message, 540-358-1583. If you like the show, 5-star on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're now on YouTube. Like it, share it, tell everybody. Tell somebody if you think that they're going to be interested in the show, let them know.
Yeah,
that'd be great. And
we got merch.
Yeah, we got merch.
Good shirt right here.
Yep.
Got it. Nice skull. And it has, watch your back
on the back of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, the next episode, don't know when it's gonna come. If I know it's gonna be longer, like say 2 weeks, like it took this long.
Try and drop something in between.
Yeah, try and drop something in between.
Story or something.
Yeah, and then part 3 will come.
Maybe we can do Main Street and watch Main Street.
Maybe we need another laptop in here.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
We watch Main Street and just do a little watch along, because that one's not that long.
That's true. That's true.
And it's funny.
We'll try and get that set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody for listening and watching. And lastly, watch your back. It's cryptic out there.
Jag var på väg hem, det var mörkt och dimmigt. Jag gick förbi kyrkan och jag kände mig iakttagen. Jag försökte skicka tankar till dig. Jag försökte ringa dig. Men du svarade inte. Så jag fortsatte gå. Det var länge sedan vi sågs.